Okay, so today's video is going to be about warm-up intensity. And recently I've had some athletes for 3 or 4 months, and it's really an awesome thing. This is like really good news for folks that have stayed consistent and are slowly starting to work on getting stronger. You know, the warm-up I did with them on their first session can be super basic, you know, maybe even just some body weight exercises, maybe it's like some assisted squats, some glute bridges, and like, you know, incline push-up. But as those athletes get stronger and stronger, that's just an example, the warm-up intensity has to change. And so that might be a good general warm-up for really anyone, but if your push-ups get closer and closer to the ground, or you're starting to incorporate deadlifts into your training, or maybe you're starting to incorporate heavy squats, your warm-up should match the eventual intensity that you're going to reach in your workout. And so you really have to pay attention to that as you get stronger, or as you start to kind of wave your training. Sometimes you might have light days where the warm-up can be pretty general and you'd be good to go. But if you're like ready to do like a 1 rep max, or maybe you've got like a really high intensity day planned, your warm-up should address that. And I'm not saying, you know, your warm-up should just start with really heavy loads, but maybe your warm-ups should feel warm-up-y, meaning like, you know, 3 to 5 sets of, say, 5 reps of some sort of load. And then you might have some sort of like in-between warm-up that kind of gets you ready for that next load. And so this changes as you get stronger, and really just paying attention. I can't really give a number unless we saw some actual weights that we were working with that we can show you here in a second, but really paying attention to the reps leading up into a load. So say someone's working load for a deadlift is 225, and that's pounds, right? So we're not going to start with 225 pounds, right? We're gonna break the athlete, but maybe their warm up is 3 times, and they're doing the deadlift, say 3 reps at 135. Pretty darn easy for the athlete. Gets 9 reps in, boom. Probably still not quite ready to do 225. I'm sure they could, but they're not neurologically primed, and their reps or their sets are going to be much better and feel a little comfier if they just have a couple more warm-ups here in between. And so this is what I'm saying, your intensity is going to change as you get stronger. So maybe they do a warm-up, maybe they've got some other squats and some other things they do in here, and then before they get into the meat of their workout, they might be doing some sort of lead up where maybe they're doing 2 reps at 185, so right, a little bit heavier, and then maybe they just want to do 1 pull at, say, 205, right? We've got our warm-up, we've got this little in-between intensity, and boom, they're ready to do their 3 sets of 3 or their 5 sets of 2 or whatever at 225. So as you get stronger, as you start to adapt more and more, your warm-up has to change. And really, the warm-up kind of in between the second gear maybe, before you start lifting pretty heavy, needs to be appropriate for the load. And again, there's really no real number or breakdown or formula for that. It kind of just goes off of feel. But you shouldn't be making these big jumps in between the numbers of your warm-up and your working load. When we first start out training, it really doesn't matter because we don't have this baseline. We're not training really heavy yet. But something to think about when you're starting to up those numbers.